Hey, what's up? It's Jose with another YouTube video, another chopper build series video, but this one is actually more of an update and a progress and a decision-making point for me as I move forward with the chop build. So again, really appreciate everyone sticking around to watch. And I wanted to share with you kind of where I'm at because I need to make a choice about a hardtail kit for this chop. I've stripped the bike down pretty much to the frame itself. I pulled the engine out and kind of based on where I'm at skill-wise and also money-wise, I've narrowed down my options to a few contenders, and I wanted to share that with you in case you're thinking about doing a project like this. But before I get started, if you could stick around to the full video, hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel, I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of February. Okay, so if money wasn't an issue and there were actually some available, I would have totally gone with the Prism Supply hardtail option. Simple as that. Obviously it's not currently available and I didn't really go for it and it's kind of out of the way now, but quickly just to mention it, I thought, you know, this one is probably the best looking hardtail kit option out there. The way that most of their products actually look, you know, really draw me in. I think that they look great. The lines specifically on the hardtail option are perfect in my opinion. The backbone, you know, brings that tubing all the way to the rear axle adjusters and it flows just so nicely. They have a couple of videos kind of highlighting their kit and I think it looks great. But for 700 bucks, I wasn't going to pull the trigger. Plus they actually don't have any online available at this time. And actually probably for the last year they haven't had any, so I check every few days to see, you know, what's happening or if there are any, and maybe one day I'll you know, come across one and I'll make that dumb decision to just buy it even if I don't have a project for it because I want to get my hands on one really bad. Secondly, yes, I have considered buying a full rigid frame so that I wouldn't have to chop up this vintage, almost classic, almost perfect 1988 Sportster 1200, but how much fun would that really be? Plus, I wanted to learn how to chop a bike, and there are a ton of mint Sportster bikes out there, so this option was kind of out the door for me pretty quick. But if I had to, and I was gonna buy a full rigid frame, the one that comes to mind is a gas box 3-inch over full rigid frame, handmade here in the United States, actually out of Ohio. And yeah, look at it. I think the way that the backbone seamlessly goes from the neck down to the axles is just awesome. But again, I want to learn a little something about a lot of things. So as a chopper build goes, this was a no-go for me. Plus currently it retails for about $1,100. And so at this point, I just kind of said, no, thank you, and moved on. So let's get into some real contenders. And I don't want to go into too much detail. I just kind of want to share what I came across and some key distinctions that I think I considered overall, and maybe provide you with a little insight in case you're considering chopping a Sportster and are a first timer like me. If you're kind of in the research phase, you've probably seen and heard of all of the companies I'm going to mention. And of course, there are a ton more out there. But for me, the things that I kept top of mind were: 1, do they have in-depth instructions, information, resource, how-to videos, etc. 2, are they affordable? And that can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. Essentially, can I afford to buy these parts right now? Because they're not some rare, unique one-off pieces or vintage pieces or whatever that might be. Again, are they affordable to me? And then 3rd, are the parts that I'm looking at right now that I want to purchase available? Actually, like, are they online that I can put them in a cart, hit pay, and then get that within a few days or weeks? So the first rear hardtail kit on my list comes from Throttle Addiction, also an Ohio-based company where they hand-built this kit. And actually a unique approach that this company takes is that you can pretty much buy a full hardtail kit outright with all the goodies from their site. A few drop-down options come up when you go into their tab for the hardtail kit, and so you can add a seat, you could add an oil tank, you could add a sissy bar, and obviously get all of that all at once, and it really kind of puts a whole package together for you. Plus, on their website and some of their YouTube videos, They have additional links where they show you exactly, the process that they take to build out a chopper. So again, a lot of great stuff on there. If you put that whole cart together, it comes close to about 1,600 bucks. You can buy just the frame section itself. It's definitely an option, and that cuts down the cost. And they're currently running at about 530 bucks for just the rear frame section. The key things to note on this hardtail kit is that the open backbone tube has a spot for you to be able to run wiring through your frame. It has a 2-inch stretch on it, and it has solid machine motor mounts, as well as laser cut axle plates and threaded axle adjusters. The one issue that I've seen online and kind of when researching it is that the threaded axle adjusters kind of suck and they don't hold up over time, which is a bummer. And for the price point, I didn't really want to go through with that option. But the next one on my list was actually a toss-up for the one that I thought I was actually going to purchase. This was highly considered, and that's the lowbrow hardtail option. Again, another Ohio-based company. This one has some slight differences, but they're kind of significant depending on how you look at it. The rear frame section actually has a 3-inch stretch and a 1-inch drop, making the profile and stance of your overall product just a little bit longer and a little bit lower. And similar to the throttle addiction option, it has a backbone tube where it opens up at the end of the top near the oil tank, where you're able to run wiring if you want to, which again would be pretty slick if you wanted to go that route. And for the hardtail, the axle adjusters are actually integrated into the axle plates. So instead of it having maybe a weak point or a failure point, these are built in so that it kind of threads through and it looks similar to your swing arm. So again, that I think is a really awesome feature of this kit. And lowbrow has a ton of bolt-on options that are tried and true for first timers, DIYers, professionals, and at this point I really thought I was gonna go through with it, and for the price point it's pretty good. It's $399 just for the rear frame section, which is probably as good as it's gonna get. Definitely thought about it, but I just chose to go with another one in a different direction. And so that one actually is also another Ohio-based company, and that's the TC Bros Hardtail kit, coming in at just about $5 less than the lowbrow option at a cool $394.95. And this was the perfect blend of what I was hoping to get. Actually, there was one thing that helped me make that decision and choose this one over the lowbrow option, and that was the way the backbone tubing flows all the way down to the bottom of the frame. That's it. That's literally it. You can't even see this thing if you put a seat and an oil bag over it, but I think, in my opinion, that simple design choice was probably what kind of made me choose it versus the lowbrow option. Of course, I don't really think that really means anything. If I would have gone with the lowbrow option, it probably would have been just as fine, similar with the throttle addiction, but I just had a personal preference to go with this look. And I've seen a couple of videos and some finished products, and I think it looks great. Lane Split Boulevard, I think their YouTube video really helped me make that choice. So if you haven't seen their channel, check them out. They have a full series kind of on a Sportster build as well. And that really helped me make the choice. This one actually has a 2-inch stretch, and it sits at about a 5-inch height clearance from the bottom of the frame to the ground. Overall, pretty sleek. Looking forward to it, and I'm excited to get it in the mail. At the end of the day, all three of these options were designed very similar, and they're made to run stock components like the wheels, the axles, the brakes. There's obviously a ton of aftermarket support as well, not only from TC Bros, but all of these other companies. And in my opinion, they're probably very interchangeable. That's kind of it. Again, that's my experience kind of doing a little research. I wanted to share and highlight what I found and what I think is, useful information. If you like watching these types of videos and you want to see the progress as I move forward with my project, consider subscribing. Like this video and add a comment down below if you have any questions, thoughts, comments, all that good stuff. I'm just an average guy with no previous experience in chopping or building a bike. I'm just documenting how it goes to share with you all the process and the progress, and share with you what I've learned so far. I'll film an update video here when I get the frame so that you can see what I got in the mail. But until then, yeah, have a good day and we'll see you later. Bye.